people, welcome to Random Thought with Maxine. It's a Wednesday edition and I am excited. Are you? Okay. So how's the week treated you? Do you want me to know? Kindly share in the comment section and it's Wednesday. Let's do this. Alright, okay, so mic check 1 2 1 2. We are live on Peny Radio and it's Random Thought with Maxine. You know how we do it on the show, okay? On Wednesdays, I'm super excited because one is midweek. We are nearing the weekend, and so you know how we do on the weekend. Somebody say, hey, even in COVID times, shall weekend is weekend, no matter how short it is. There's nothing exciting like looking forward to a weekend, okay? And secondly, I have a guest in the studio. So I don't only share my thoughts, like she shares the thoughts with me. And that's the part that I honestly enjoy because I don't get to talk all alone. And we get to also delve into the mind of other people. I have the studio, a friend and a sister. Please, forgive me if you hear two different names, okay? If you hear Emilia, it's fine. But if you hear Erefo Abuafo, that is branding. So please don't get too confused. Emilia, please say hello to my guests, listeners and viewers.
hello everyone.
All right.
Here, Maxine.
Okay, so Emilia is excited. So you heard the voice, right? Hello everyone. And this is how we do it. So I think early part of this year I went to visit Emilia, and then you know how it is, like we're just talking about the plans that we had for the year and the things we wanted to see happen. And she shared some deep thoughts, and in my head I'm thinking, what a revelation. Emilia sound like this part of the conversation got me very interested in why the sudden change in wanting to do something differently. And so I was like, can I get you into the studio so that the same way I was excited about what you share, can we share this good news, this piece of revelation with everybody who gets to tune into the shows on Mondays and Wednesdays. So for all those tuning in for the very first time, because Emilia is on the show, Erefwa is on the show, thank you so much for your time. And then today we are talking open or closed book. Topic for discussion is open or closed book. So here goes. Typical Newtown girl who grew up around Agbajina, down to be precise, and who went to Peny RC, a public school, also known as Saito. One of the things every child will dread, especially when it's Mondays to Friday, is silence hour. We do not understand why there should be somebody who rings the bell for silence hour. And woe betide you if you flout the rules of silent hour. You get punished. As curious that I was, I didn't even understand why there should be silence hour as children. But you know, that period gave us a way of just composing ourselves for the next 10 or 15 minutes. You have to sit down, read some books, do some alone reading, whether serious student or Emilia, did you go to a public school? Was it the same at your private schools? Was there silent hour?
Yes, we had silent hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was it like? Did you like silence hour? Because I didn't.
I think you'd realize that you'd go for assembly, the major gathering where you see everybody. And they used to do inspections and all that. And when you want to socialize a bit, they say, go to your classroom and it's time for silence hour. Growing up, it's quite... You wouldn't like it.
Exactly.
And people fake to do things because they don't understand what it means.
Exactly.
Anyway. But at a point after primary school into junior high school, you realize it made sense.
Okay.
Because probably you'd had a hard morning, like you've had a tough morning, waking up at dawn, preparing to school. And so that's the time you settle in and you kind of do a sober reflection of yourself.
Sharp.
So it's only when it got to, I'll say JSS2, that it made sense. But
okay.
Like from primary school through to the no.
Okay, so I wasn't alone. So you see, we didn't even understand the whole rationale behind silence hour. But all we knew is that we had to comply so that you don't get punished. But you see, I don't honestly remember the last time I took time off all the noise around and to say, can I observe a bit of silence? Emilia?
Maxine, this in our age now is extremely hard to do. It's extremely hard to do. You'd have to really consciously decide that you want some time off. I have something I called technology blackouts.
Okay.
That's a time where you realize this is a social media era, and even when you're at the office, your phone could beep several times because messages and all those things, distractions. So you really would have to make time for silence now. Like in the past, we didn't have internet, we didn't have social media everywhere, and so you could make some time and you could enjoy the serene environment just in your home with no noise. But in days today, we don't have that. And so if you really want to have some silence, it's you, the individual. You'd have to decide to get some silence.
Okay.
If not, you won't get silence.
Okay. So you have to decide to get some silence. The question this morning is, do you have silence on your timetable now? Is there a point that you think everything around you is extremely noisy, that you can't even catch a little bit of silence? Have you become silent now because of some past experiences? Is this something that you are up for, or for you think, no, this is how I am? And I can understand many people like, okay, I'm a bubbly person, okay, I'm always on the go, I'm always speaking my mind. There's nothing like silence. When I'm silent, that means me yare. You know, there are people who are that silent when they are not too fine, like health-wise. But we thought through this whole rationale of sitting down and enjoying silence, and we thought through the process where people will say, you have changed. So when I was having the chat with Emilia, that's one thing that kept dropping in my mind. She has changed. Okay, how come she came to terms with this part of her life, that sometimes you just have to keep quiet or observe some silence? Is it a crime? Is it a no for somebody to say you have changed? For you, when somebody tells you have changed, do you find it complimentary?
It depends.
Okay.
You'd realize that people come into our lives for various reasons. Somebody will only tell you you have changed when they probably have some space into your life.
Okay.
And they know some nitty-gritties. That's when they can tell you you've changed. But if an ordinary person who is just an acquaintance tells you you've changed, for me, it doesn't really, it doesn't make any difference to me, because you really don't know me.
Okay.
But it's only when someone who is very near tells you, oh, maybe if I see that you have changed, then you now know that then probably it's working.
Okay.
I believe that everybody needs a careful introspection into their life.
Okay.
Everybody. When you never have that, then I will tell you, you are in for danger.
Okay.
At every point in time, you'd have to really make an assessment of your entire life. Take a stock into your life. What did I do wrong? What didn't I do wrong? What do I have to change? What do I have to update? All these things you have to critically assess yourself. And sometimes if you have really good network, they can tell you when things are going wrong. They can really inform you.
Okay.
When you have a good cycle, they can tell you this didn't go well. You can work out on this better. You can do. So it's very necessary for everybody to have a careful introspection. And for you to do that, you need silence.
Okay.
You need silence. You have to meditate. You have to think through your life. You have to wonder what has gone better, what hasn't gone right.
Okay.
How do I improve it? How do I want to live? You don't just live like you are living.
Okay.
And so there are ways and means you can get this done. And like I said, it takes you to do that.
Okay.
It takes you, because you're the only one who truly knows herself or himself better.
Okay. Nobody
Nobody can tell who you are unless you yourself. And there's not a no like I'm bubbly, I'm extroverted, and so I can't do this. I'm introvert, and so I cannot be sociable.
Okay.
It's about you. If you really want some space and some time for yourself, some silence in your life to make something work, you can do it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether you are an introvert or an extrovert.
Okay.
I am not an extroverted person. I'm an introvert. But when I get to know you, I'm extremely nice.
Okay.
When I get to know you, I take a while before I get to know you. That is me personally. And so people would see and tell you, oh, you are too formal. You're not friendly. You're too formal. You don't come, like you're not approachable. People would see and tell you, oh, Erifa, you're too. People think my partner, my husband, is friendly than I am. Because if you see him, he has a bubbly, like he's very lovely and all that. But when you see me, I look very official and formal.
Yeah.
But when you take time to know me, you realize I'm a nice person.
Okay.
Yes. And so it takes time to really get to know people. You don't see one person one day and feel they are nice people.
Okay.
You have to take time to know them.
All right.
And even me being an introvert, now people tell you, oh, you are not approachable, you are not nice, and you are trying to get to that point where you are sociable. So you are trying to work on yourself to be friendly. And when you open up a bit, then wahala. It's crazy. It's a crazy world.
So this is me thinking that, oh, okay, I am an outgoing person, and you think, oh, everybody thinks, Maxine, one or two things you can easily read her. I mean, you don't have to do a lot to know what's on her mind.
Exactly.
Just know which buttons to press at what point, and she'll start running her mouth. And then I was talking to Emilia, and I'm like, is there a point that I kind of like totally draw away from just being an open book, just speaking my mind, and putting brakes on some part of my life? And somebody will say, oh, you are building walls, and emotionally we can't even get to you. You have changed. And I'm thinking, when or where do I draw the balance? Because you see, there's a point that you think you're an open book, and you are that predictable, and people want you to metamorphose into something else, which you try. Then later on, they are thinking that, oh no, this is not my Maxine. You have changed. Is it life that taught us the hard lessons, or it is just we growing up and thinking that, Charlie, when you get to a certain age, you should stop talking plain to you?
Maxine, that's
so it's age, or it's what, maturity, or is people putting pressure on you to be like what? And people do not like it when you are drifting from your original self, because you are thinking what went wrong. But you see, as Emilia rightly said, we have been bruised. Sometimes you give out love and you get hate in return. Sometimes you forgive, and guess what? You are hurt the more. We have been bent. Like, we have been bent just because we thought we are outgoing, we speak our mind and all that. So this new era, we have built bridges and we have built fences. Emilia, how high is your walls?
Oh, extremely high. Extremely high. You'd realize that you are in charge of your life. Everybody is in charge of their lives. So there are some people who right now are not, because they want to please people. They are people pleasers. If you're a people pleaser, you'd never be in charge of your life. It's so okay for you to say no when it's necessary. There are some people who can never say no. But I want to tell you that it's so okay to say no. Sometimes the no you say it can change your world.
Okay.
It's good if you know it, like, at an early stage, than when you get to a point and you're now knowing. It's good to say no. It's very okay. And I would say that it's not like, oh, it's experience. It's not like, I would say it's a whole lot. There are stages in life.
Okay.
At every point in time, we have to grow. We have to move from A to B. You understand me? There's a reason why the alphabet starts from A to Z.
Yeah.
Why don't we say A? It's growth. You have to go. And so maybe when you started, your walls were so low.
Or fence, crying your wall. Fence wall.
I would say it was not even a fence wall.
Not your wall, draft wall.
It wasn't even a fence wall. Probably you didn't even have a fence wall at all.
Yeah.
There was no boundary. Like, you buy a land and there's nothing. There's no pillars to demarcate that is your land. And there was nothing. So it was a free zone. And so everybody comes, and what they like, they tell you. And it's like you kind of take anything in quotes, trash, anything someone gives you, forgetting that you are in charge of your life. You can allow somebody come in or someone come out. You have your home. You don't just open your doors ajar and everybody comes in. You realize that you let I can choose who comes into my home and who doesn't come into my home. That is how we should guard our bodies and our hearts and our minds. We don't have to allow anybody at all to come in and walk out just like that. You'd have to build some walls. You just start with a fence wall.
Yeah.
Just start with a fence wall. You'd realize if there's no walls at all, the experiences, they are not good to talk about them. Some people have good hearts and they are lovely. They are really, you can't mess them in a meeting and not say, oh, let me call her and find out why she didn't come around. Some people are just naturally, they're just lovely. But many a times we take them for granted. We feel the fact that they are lovely, the fact that they are nice, probably they don't have limits. Everybody and their limits.
So you think over the period people have taken us for granted?
Exactly. I would always say that it has to do with temperament. I am a typical choleric. There are people who are sanguine. They are everywhere. They are nice. They are loyal. They are sweet. And the fact that they are extremely loyal, people hurt them. On many occasions, people keep on hurting them. Because as soon as you hurt her and you go back to her and you say sorry, she will take you back. And so we keep on messing up with these people. And it's not that they are weak. That's their temperament. And I always say that the fact that you have a temperament that makes you this way doesn't mean you always have to be this way. You can grow and set some rules for yourself. Yes, they're always bubbly. Maxine is here. She's all over. She's nice. She's sweet. At a point, there should be someone saying, wow, that's not the Maxine we know. Then you'd know that there's a difference. And that difference, you'd only experience it when you have gone through some bad moments and you have gotten yourself thinking about, what do I do? I find myself to be alone. I tell you, the sweetest people are the loneliest people. I always say the most sweetest people are the loneliest people, because when they are going through very distressful moments, they don't get anybody to be there for them. People always use them to climb higher. And they don't even lend them a helping hand. When they're the people who suffer the most. There's something I tell someone I'll not mention, that he's so sweet, he's so nice. You ask him money, he would give you. You ask him this, he give you. But when he needs it, he can't afford to ask someone because it won't be given. Why should it be so? Why don't we grace people who show us love with so much love? Why don't we do that? Why do we take them for granted? There are people who only come into your life when they need a particular thing. And those people are the most dangerous people you can ever have. If you have friends like that, after today, pick a diary and start deleting some intentionally. Because people, they'll come and the next thing they'll ask is, how are you? The next thing is, oh, can you help me out with this? Oh, yes.
A favor.
Oh, yes.
So you see, in as much as we think, oh, everybody likes us, they adore us because we have A, B, and C to offer. Please, let's not lose sight of the fact that there are people who are vicious. I mean, in as much as you're thinking, are they for real? What can I put on the table? How can I sort them out? We also forget the part that there are people who just come in for their own selfish gains. And sometimes it's difficult even telling who is in for the right reason. And so what has taught us the lesson?
Oh, Maxine, there is God. There is God. People feel, oh, probably I'm going to date somebody, so I have to pray about them. You have to pray about your friends. You have to pray about them. I always say that there's this still voice in us that speaks to us. But we are too busy to listen to it. You'd have to make time to pray about your friends. If you have the spirit of discernment in you, there are people you won't even look at them twice. Because, hey, they will break you. You'd have to seriously pray about the people in your network, like your cycle. I always tell myself, I choose my friends. And for a long while, I have been choosing my friends. You can't choose me. I have to decide to be you as a friend.
Madam, choose me.
Yes. Yes. Because you realize that we are all fallible. Sometimes there are things you can take, there are things you cannot take. Sometimes somebody will come into your life and they will crush you to the extent that you can't even pick back the pieces. You can't. And so I won't allow you into that space where I have my peace of mind to suffer. No, it's my life. It's not yours.
Okay.
And so regardless of the situation, I would have to select you as my friend. And I always tell friends that we have to have a journal. Sometimes people do things to us and we just forget about them, and it's great to forgive, but pick the lessons.
Okay.
It's extremely great to forgive because it heals you. It heals you. I don't forgive people because they've offended me. I forgive them for me to be able to carry on and to have my peace of mind. And so regardless of the fact that they are your friends, doesn't mean that they have the right to hurt you. They have the right to stab you at the back. No. Decide what you take and decide what you cannot take. And that's what we call boundaries.
Okay.
Setting a limitation for yourself. There are limits to which you can take anything. So set a limit for yourself.
Okay.
There are things you tell. There are things you don't tell.
Okay.
In this day and era, people are quick to share even a process. Probably I'm applying for something. I haven't even gone there yet, and I'm spilling the bean. I'm telling people I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Not all good news are meant for all ears. Note this. Not all good news are meant for all ears. Don't expose yourself too much. Don't think, oh, I'm doing this. People are happy for me. People are excited for me. Sometimes take time.
Okay.
Do the thing, and when the glory shows, it's evident, the world will know.
Okay.
Don't share everything just like that. Only talk when it's necessary. Only talk when it's necessary. There are people who have opinions in every matter. In every matter.
Baby. Everywhere.
I believe that when you listen more and you talk less, you become wiser.
Okay.
All these successful people we find, we say Bill Gates, we say, we call lots of people. Do you know they get time to actually think?
Yeah.
Do you know when all these creative ideas come up? It's when they are in their closets. It's when they are in their closet. Sometimes get into your closet, keep quiet. Keep quiet. It's about time you kept quiet. Kept quiet. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. I always say that we talk too much. Yeah. We talk too much.
But Emilia, can you blame us? You see, sometimes we don't even know how careful we are to either let out that information or not. We think everybody merits it, and that once you are not forthcoming with information, everybody say you have become secretive. Nobody wants to be tagged as being secretive because over the period the person thinks they are sharing valuable information with you and you are not doing likewise. And so who gets to keep his and who gets to say his is what the problem is. But can we fault people because at a point that is how you were? You are an open book. All of a sudden you say you have developed strategy and you are not talking plenty. How do you deal with the consequences of the new me who is trying to keep quiet, observe more and talk less? How?
Maxine, everything is possible under the sun. Everything. Like I mentioned, you only consciously decide to do this. It doesn't come natural. Like it's not. It's something you learn to do.
Yeah.
And it's a gradual thing. It's not like, oh, the next day, today, the next. It will take time. It will really, really, really take time. But it's necessary. Some have friends. They share a lot with them, and they never share anything with them. I would not have such a friend as a friend.
Oh, there are people who do not share anything.
Oh, they share nothing.
Or they share what they think you should
Maxine,
hear.
they share nothing. You're always sharing. You should ask yourself, does she share with me? I always ask myself, it's my best friend. That's what I'll be saying. You're laughing.
Yeah.
Many of us have best friends who are not our best friends.
Yeah.
Probably your best friend is not seeing you as a best friend and has a best friend. So sometimes,
but you know
sometimes in a funny way, ask your best friend, am I your best friend?
So that and you're on the bench and you're thinking you're playing.
I'm telling you.
You're on the bench and thinking you're playing.
I'm telling you.
All right, so it's Random Thought with Maxine. This morning we are talking open or closed book, and this is a question we are putting forward. For many of us, we have over the period been generous with information. I think we've done this on the show, but we didn't get into details, and we are like, okay, we don't even want to think bad of people. I mean, they just, there are people who go into a DNA call, so Charlie, what's up with you and all that, and you are thinking that WhatsApp is for you to just be honest, tell them you are broke, tell them you are looking for a job, tell them you have boyfriend issues, tell them your wife's pregnancy is coming with some. And their people are just there to fish information. The question is, how careful are you before you let out an information? Does it matter to you, or you dear, everything goes? And I keep saying this, for now, practically I have developed a strategy. I talk for the next 5 minutes, you don't talk some, end of subject matter.
Exactly.
My mouth is zipped.
Yeah.
Because it's like there are times you are just the only person doing the convo. And it is a dialogue. Sometimes you think the information they are giving to you is even Pasco. Just say and you are giving current information, all in the hope and all in the reason that, oh, okay, this is a good friend. Emilia, have we been hurt in the past just because we just didn't think evil of people and we thought we're just sharing? It's good news. Can I just run it by this friend? And did it burn us that hard that we think through it and we're like, never again? Never again.
Max, like I keep on saying, I have been blessed with remarkable friends. I have been blessed. And you know why? Because I decided to select my friends. I can't have a friend who sees something she likes and cannot share it with me. I want friends who would walk with me to the top, or who would run with me to the top, or who will crawl with me to the top. There are moments when we get people around us. Like I said, people feel you are too formal, you are too official, and you open up a bit and people come into your life and, hey, they are the people who come around, get to know who you are, and start saying negative things about you. And you realize that people only talk about you when they know that you have something before you that is great. People don't just talk about you for nothing. There's something they find in you that they are afraid of. And so they will deter you. You get it? And so when you find yourself in such a situation, like I mentioned, you'll be crushed, you'll be hurt. Maxine, there are moments when even family, it's not just friends, family members can just bring you down because you are going up. They will break you in a very, oh my dear, in a very pleasant way. They will break you into pieces because they can't see you shine. It's not just about friends. It's not just about colleagues. Even at work, there are people who see you're good and they can't wait to spill something bad about you to your boss, just to get favor in their sight. I always say, wherever I work, I would never work to please my boss. I will do my job, do it well, and the job will speak for itself. There are people who never work. But they are always stabbing people at the back to get favor. And so everywhere you go, there are people who are in quotes dangerous that you have to be mindful of. And the only thing that can help you is the Holy Spirit. Sometimes when that still voice tells you, oh, probably you're going out, oh, then if you don't say it, how would they get the information? It's only you who says it. And when you say it and they go to do careful evaluation and review and bring you the feedback, you are hurt. Because you didn't zip your mouth. And so there are very good people we can have as friends. But most of the time, those people, we don't even like them.
But Emilia, haven't you lost people just because they could not understand why we can't appease their excessive curiosity? I saw we are friends. I saw you should say this. And now they no longer want to do anything with us. Or they near to tell me, hey, what's the sound? And we, at a point, there's a part of us that instinctively want to appease them. Okay, maminka crunch. Like, just scratch the surface small. Don't give full details, but just give them. Haven't we all, we shouldn't even try appeasing anybody at all.
Oh, Maxine, you will lose them if you try to make a conscious effort to make your life better. You would lose them. But the only people who would stay are the people who connect with you in soul and in mind. They are the people who would stay. The people who would leave,
so there are people
who,
so there are people who connect with us.
Yes.
So everybody who has gone out of my life is not connected.
There are people
like literally, right?
Yes, naturally they like you. Naturally they want to see you go well. Naturally they connect with you, body, soul, spirit. There are people who are like that. There are people when you don't even check up on them, they check up on you.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
They check up on you for no reason. And they do.
Yeah.
There are people who are there and are always looking for something.
Yeah.
Always, constantly. All they want is something from you. And nothing.
Yeah.
All they want is, it can be physical, it can be extrinsic, it can be intrinsic. All they want is something from you. Such people, if you try to like set boundaries for yourself, they will come and be asking questions. I don't know why you say. I don't know why you say. You need to buy a peja now. They are my. They will start talking. Before you know, distance or you understand. And when they decide to go, let them go.
Yeah.
Let them be acquaintance. You see, I always say in Ghana, we always feel, oh, this your friend. Once people say your friend, I'm so like it hits me. What do you mean by my friend? Probably the person is an acquaintance.
Until honors you acquaintance.
Oh, let's make the distinction. You realize that friends are friends. There are friends who migrate and become sisters. I have a friend, who is a sister. Come what may, she is my friend. I love her with my heart. She loves me. My family knows her. And apart from that, I have other friends who are friends. Like my relationship with you, I don't see you as a friend anymore. Maxine, we've gone past that.
So my listeners, please let me give you this filler. You know those kind of moments where you start off a journey without somebody as a friend, then getting to the latter part of the journey, the person becomes your friend. So ordinarily, Emilia was not my friend.
At all.
We were not seeing eye to eye. But all of a sudden, latter part of the journey,
became group members.
Exactly. So group members, then I'm like, okay, so I had impression, I had perceptions, I had closed my mind. I think she also did same. But latter part of the journey, I realized that no. And now we are like stuck. And so initially you think, oh no, we didn't start off as friends.
Yes.
And there are people who are lurking around.
Yes.
Who probably are anticipating that, oh, she will never be my friend. But you might not know. The person has what it is. Those we started off with as friends, sorry, are nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
Do not that is it. Do not have our back anymore, okay? And we can't fault them. But you see, time has a way of putting things in perspective. And this morning we are talking, do you even have walls? Have you built walls as to how to guard your mouth and not to say things, especially when the thing is not properly cooked? Have you been hurt by a friend, family member, relative, colleague, just because at that point you thought, oh, I'm just being myself. I'm happy and I just want to run this information by you. How are you taking in that moment where you think you are that broken? Is there an experience that you don't want to remember? Did you learn it the hard way? Let us know in the comment section. And we know that you are watching. Okay, so there is a comment from Portia Edu Mensa. And she says that Erefua Inspires is amazing. Thank you so much, Portia, for doing the listening. There is one from James Dogbefu, and he says that I'm watching you. And there is clap your hands together.
That's a nice thing.
from Emmanuel Adefio. And so there is one from Maximami Sode. She says that great discussion. The diction and articulation is like the icing on the discussion. Laughing out loud. Kudos to you, ladies. Thank you so much, Maxima, for tuning in. And for those who are tuning in and are not talking, like all our silent listeners, for all those who gave us a thumbs up when you saw the post, challenge, thank you so much. We are just catching our breath for the next 2 minutes or one. We'll be right back. Edition of Random Thought with Maxine, we are asking ourselves the question, how high is your wall? See, some of the walls are really high. Fence walls to ground fan, concrete wall, cement wall, just say it's now because you see, there are times that you have been hurt very badly and you just don't want to let down your guard. And that's how come people are emotionally walled, psychologically walled because of past experiences. And we might all have a fair share of those experiences, no matter how terrible they are. The good news is we survived. But as Emilia rightly said, what are the lessons that you pick from the things you go through? And we are talking about the lessons now. Emilia, power of silence. Tell us about it.
Oh, there's so much power in silence. There is so much power in silence. Sometimes you feel that when somebody is silenced, then in quotes, they are stupid. They are not. There's so much power in silence. You realize that, like you said, I, for some years, decided that people come into my life for a reason, one way or the other. And no matter what they are in my life for, I would make the best out of it. They would offend you. Yes, we are human beings. Like I said, we are fallible. So far as we are human beings and blood flows through our veins, people offend you. But many a times people offend you and they are not even conscious of the fact that they've offended you. So why burden yourself with somebody's hurt and not move on? Forgive them. Like I say, you forgive for yourself and not for them. Forgive them. Be kind to them, but be mindful of how open you become the next time.
Okay.
You realize it.
Okay.
And so one thing I would say is that when you are silenced, you become a deep thinker. Before you open your mouth to say anything, you have thought through it. You have thought through it over and over. Think through it over and over and over again. And when you talk, it would touch lives than you ever thought, because you are thinking in a deeper place. You are thinking about your thoughts, what you've gone through, all the experiences. Like I kept on saying, lessons. Pick the lessons. There's no one who is totally a bad person. There are some good things in people.
Yeah.
Pick the lessons and move on. And in your closet, make time to be quiet. Not quiet like you are just quiet. Make time to be quiet and think through how you want your life to be. There are lots of people who make lots of New Year resolutions and never actualize it because they didn't think through it. The only time you can think through it is when you are silent. It's when you are in your deepest place. It's when it's just you, the lady in the mirror, and you. If I say the lady in the mirror, it's the lady right in the mirror, honey, who you see. That's you. Sometimes, even if you are married, even if you are schooling, even if you are working, take some time and be quiet. Have a careful introspection. Meditate. Meditate. It helps a lot. It brings out ideas you never thought you had. There are people who always don't believe in who they are, but believe in what others think they are. But when you are silent, you would see the power you have in you. That time, nobody is there. It's you. You are able to know your strengths, your weaknesses, how to mitigate my strength, how to acquire some skills to make me better. Where there is no noise. It's just you. And like I say, there are people who cannot do a day without going on social media. If you are in such a situation, then it's not a safe place to be. Control your phone. Don't let your phone control you. Like I say, I do technology blackout. Sometimes put it off. By the time you come back, you are asking. Sometimes people talk, are you not in Ghana? There are friends who tell me, if I'm not in Ghana, how in there? Just too much you cry.
I'm different level.
Oh, me a business. Me a personal business. Me name their cost. And you see, control what comes into your timeline. People send you friend requests on Facebook. Sometimes you don't know the person, you realize you have mutual friends. Take time, go through the mutual friends. Isn't necessary to add them. It's not about the numbers.
Somebody is listening and thinking like, hey, you two are something new. Small friend request, you have to go through mutual friends and do a siphon of who is
Maxine is necessary.
Don't you think you are being some
No, Maxine,
it's a simple world though.
Your social media platform is your space. It's your privacy. As soon as you let somebody in without, sometimes if you let people in, go to the settings. There are things people shouldn't see. But sometimes you realize the majority of us don't know there are privacy settings on social media, your timeline, and people can see anything. You'll be there and somebody will pick your picture and it's everywhere. No. That is when we talk about limits. Set limits even on your social media space. On your WhatsApp space, there are people who can see your posts. There are people who cannot see. Go to the settings, privacy settings. You can do that.
Emilia,
from
the way you are talking, I'm sure you have blocked a lot of
people.
people.
Maxine, you know it.
Hey.
You know. That's why you're my sister.
Who taught you that?
Maxine.
What a choice, sir.
Maxine, there are people.
How many people have you blocked? Tell me.
Oh, I can't count. But
Like
you see, I don't let
you find it needful. Like,
so it's needful. It's needful. People are in your what do you call it? Your contact list, but is it necessary for them to see? I always call something monitoring spirit. You know this?
Yeah.
Probably somebody will open a page, somebody is doing something, they'll put it in their social media space, their timeline, not even 10 likes, but they have 3,000 friends. So who are the friends? What are they doing? What's the purpose?
Maybe they don't buy into that vision.
Listen,
they are not excited about that
there
project.
There are people who would share. There are people who talk to people. Probably you have a business. You started off small. You are always posting. And your best friends, the best of the best, has not even shared it once. And you call that person your friend, Maxine.
Maybe he's not bought into the vision.
No.
On Nyanti,
you have to help. If the person is your friend, maybe I've started with a designer. I'm a designer. I started a business.
Yeah.
You are the one who should even wear it and tell people, oh, sweetheart, my friend, that is good. Because your friend would equally do the same for you. There are people who would not do that. Let a bad news circulate about you. And it's everywhere. The positive, good news that comes out, nobody shares it. No, you should be mindful when you have lots of friends. But you are always lonely when you go into your room. You should be mindful. Sometimes you realize that many a time you notice maybe you are down. Maxine, like, ask yourself, how many people can call someone and tell them, oh, and then they home for me cry, and how many people will give them words of encouragement? Okay. There are people who will judge you. If you write, when you start, hey, so me catch you. So fine, oh catch you and abba into your bay and the thing. Yeah. Then I bay, madam for abba. Then you bay afa. Okay. And in Guasia no obi your down for no Jane in Guasia. Don't be excited to share the in Guasia. That is the time they need you. That's the time they need you. You ask them, in a ban is saying, or they your ban is saying, a baby. That's the time they need you. Sometimes people just need a hug from you. Yeah. Just a hug from you. It's not about the long calls and all that. There are friends we don't even talk to every time. But when we see them, there's a lot to talk about. Yeah, we connect. Friends who would raise you when they are also going up. Those are what we call friends. So if you have, maybe you have started doing a project and you have a social media page and you don't have even a like, you have to go and boost before you get likes. Else you have friends.
So Emilia is opening our eyes this morning to some harsh realities, whether we like it or not. There are things that's all for her. They are just mechanisms she should put in place. And I am thinking that, is it that over the period we have just taken things for granted? I mean, if he's not liking the thing, it's just because he doesn't want to like it. Must we assign a deeper meaning to this? Or is this like we can't understand the fact that people will not like us for the things we do? Yes. See, in as much as we are all excited about having a chat this morning, for somebody it's not excited about it for us. And so such people, do we fault them? You don't fault or we zone them and say, Charlie, this is how you want it to be, so be it. But Emilia, is there a point that you think that your silence has been misconstrued?
Oh, there are lots of people who misconstrue silence. Probably there's nothing you have to even say. And people think, oh, Jamasi. Maybe they think say you are not talking because you feel what they are talking about is meaningless. There are people who think that way. But you see, people are entitled to their opinion. Never think that because the person is mine, they should think like I think. No. The fact that you are not talking means probably you have nothing fruitful to say. If you have something good to say, why won't you share? You would share. There are people here in our country, in our environment, who have gone through the stressful moments, but they went through it alone. They couldn't share with anybody because they are scared that as soon as they share, before you know it, it's somewhere. Yeah. Today, someone posted something and a lady commented whilst I was coming here, and when she commented, she mentioned a friend. I'm happy with what I have seen. That what someone has shared, she's happy, and that she's in a cool place. And you know why? Because yesterday, someone she calls a dear friend called her barren, and so she has been in the darkest place of her life. And when I saw that message, I was hurt, because you see, you know why I'm hurt? Because that friend is not a friend. she shouldn't even have written a friend. Because nobody who has you at heart would tell you in your face that you're married, you don't have a child, you are barren, and you call her a friend. There are people who are so good but have the wrong kind of people in our spaces.
Yeah.
You see, when you have friends, sometimes when your clothes, you go in your wardrobe, you do selections. The old ones, let's do that, Maxine. Let's do that. Yes, you the old ones, you get them out.
Oh, we do that.
And she was so crushed. And I told her, I shared some words of encouragement to her, and I told her, you are not barren. You were made in the image of God, in the likeness of God, and so never feel crushed. You may feel crushed, but please keep up the faith. God is never late. His timing is always right. That is what the friend should have said to her.
Yeah.
That is what the friend should have. And never should she have said that she's barren.
Okay.
You never know what she's going through.
Yeah.
For you to tell her that, it makes the situation worse.
Yeah.
So never allow people to tell you what you are not supposed to hear.
Okay.
Guard your heart with
Okay.
all you can.
Okay. So for the many times that we have been crushed, for the many times that we forgave and yet people came back still stabbing us in the back, for the many times we thought we were just working on our silent strategy and yet one issue like that got us talking too much. For the many times we're afraid that somebody will say, and you're thinking, will they accept the new me? Am I not looking some way? How are they going to think of me? How can I just be somebody? Do you think we should just strike a balance, or we should just, if you're an open book, you're an open, if you are close, you are close?
Oh, Maxine.
Or we should open small and close small.
Oh, Maxine, you realize that you can never be an open book entirely. You can never be a closed book entirely.
Oh, but there are people who are close.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It's good to open up.
Yeah.
It's good to share. It's good to make friends, but with the right people. Like I tell you, I am blessed to have good friends. It's good to have them.
Yeah.
Because you realize sometimes I remember one of our jobs, Naki. A friend connected me to a friend can lead you to places. Lots of things can happen to you because of friends.
Yeah.
But we just sometimes have it wrong. It doesn't mean that people are bad.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't say that you are a closed book, you never share, you are just there, it's all about you. No, we are in a socialized environment where people are relevant. It's a communitarian society we find ourselves. Nobody's an island. And so sometimes it's necessary to share.
Yeah.
It's necessary to talk.
Yeah.
You can't harbor it all in. You'll be depressed. So you can't say I am a closed book.
Yeah.
No. If people are living like that, then they should probably, it's because they've been so hurt that at this point in my life, no way. No. You've been hurt. But like I say, forgive them, pick up the pieces. But never say, hey, my world, Jericho first. My world,
Walls of Jericho, Tower of Babel.
You'd hear, some people can hurt you, and you'd feel, oh, this time, no time for friends.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like you said, out of the blue, there are people who become friends when you never thought they would be friends.
Yeah.
Ella.
Yeah.
She's somebody when I was in school I never spoke to, but she's a friend now. From Poma, I met her. Like, there are ways you meet good friends.
Yeah.
There are ways you meet good friends. There are ways you meet sisters. There are people probably you met them in senior high school, junior high school, and they are still friends. Because they have good hearts. They have good souls. They have you at heart. There are people who you went to the university, they were friends and are no longer friends.
There are people who have arrived and they think that you can't tag along.
Oh, yes. And so, there are people who have become, probably feel that, oh, right now, I'm here.
Yeah.
And so you can't be there.
When we are rolling with a higher mic.
Yes.
So
let me tell you something. There are people who have achieved a lot but are very lonely.
Yeah.
Because all the people around them are sycophants. They are yes-sayers. They are not people who tell them the truth as it is.
Yeah.
There are people who tell you the truth as it is, no matter your position in the world, because they have known you for long and they are able to tell you the truth right in the face. There are people who, because of what they'll get, so they'll keep on telling you, oh, yes, until you fall. You don't have to have such people around you.
Okay.
Every person and the purpose they bring in your life.
Sure.
And so you can't be a closed book. You can't also be an open book fella. Everything goes. Everything. Garbage
Chapter 1. Chapter 2.
Garbage.
Open. Chapter.
No. You have to strike a balance.
Yeah.
You are the person who is in charge of your life.
Sure.
Decide what you want to take in, decide what you want to take out.
Okay.
But regardless of the situation, when somebody hurts you, when somebody breaks you, give them space, but show them kindness when they need it. Even when they don't need it, show them kindness. That's the principles of God.
Yeah.
I always say Christianity is, when you are practicalizing, is the toughest.
Yeah.
When you are just reading the Bible,
Yeah.
so when people hurt you, maybe you will go in mass, I can't say maybe like sometimes you are not be a vaccine. You don't have to talk. Keep quiet. The issue would it will die. When it dies, when you see her, don't bypass her. No, no. Oh, hello, how are you doing? Are you fine? Is the family fine? We thank God. Then you bypass. It shows you're matured.
Yeah.
It shows you're matured. How we handle situations show we are matured.
All right.
There are people who they just talk when they are angry.
Yeah.
They just in the spur of the moment. When you are angry, don't talk, Maxine.
Yeah.
I have learned and I have done
You have learned
that.
your lesson.
Oh, Maxine.
What's a crap?
Bullets, no. Before bullets, not to make a can. I want to me like you won't cry. When you're angry, the things you can say, but when you're angry,
So
that's the time you need to be silent.
Yeah.
That's the time, and it's difficult, but try.
Yeah.
Try to be. When you're angry, you want to say all the things.
Yeah.
But be silent.
Yeah.
Or maybe silent. Oh, now you're phone this.
Yeah.
You don't have anything useful.
Yeah.
To say. It's people talk, but is it useful? Is it important? Is it relevant?
But no, that sometimes the whole agenda is to get back at the person.
Oh, Maxine.
And let them feel a pinch of what you are feeling.
Maxine,
so
they will feel it.
They will feel it when
They
you're
will
silent.
feel it, yes.
Oh,
Maxine,
then give me that medicine. Let me start taking.
I'm sharing a personal experience.
Please do.
For let's say 4 or 5, 4 years now, I've decided that if you do anything that really crushes me or hurts my soul, I won't do anything to you, but I'll be good to you, and that pays back than any other thing. It's difficult to do, but you just practically pick the fruit of the spirit, one by one, gradually. Try to practice it as a way of life. There are things people have done to me, Maxine, that I have been I've been extremely disappointed, and they were not friends. Like I say, there are relationships that you get into you get into it not because you selected them.
Yeah.
You don't choose brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You don't choose certain relationships. You don't choose them.
Yeah.
But when they get to you so hard, Maxine, sometimes don't say anything. I'm an assertive person, like I'll say it as it is. But I have learned not to say anything when I'm at certain places.
Yeah.
I don't say.
You have changed.
Oh, Maxine, I don't say. I am very blunt. I am very blunt. But I've learned not to say anything when I am at some particular places. Because there are some people you can never change how they think about you or how they see things. They have their own thoughts and ideas. You can't change it.
So it's just like you're wasting your time, like?
You can't change it. Just do your part and that's it.
Yeah.
You can't change it. But sometimes you want to really let people know, say, hey, I'm the for me. Like, no, you can't change it. So when you're around such people, you guard yourself. All the things you have to do, you think that ordinarily you would have done.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Learn to guard yourself.
Oh, right.
Learn to guard yourself. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But because you see that in our homes, there are some homes who don't really accept assertiveness. We feel that when somebody is assertive, they are disrespectful. That's their opinion. But probably you are not, but you are trained like that. There are people who feel that people who are quiet are respectful. They are dangerous sometimes. They are dangerous sometimes. Not everybody who is quiet is a good person. Not everybody who is assertive is a bad person. Just experience the people for who they are. Learn to get to know them for who they are, and you would love them if you want to. You would choose to go off if you want to. But please, it's only someone who is in quotes foolish who doesn't learn from their mistakes. learn from your mistakes and choose to change.
All right. Learn from your mistakes and change. Haven't we all learned from our mistakes? Hey, Sally. Sometimes it hits us real hard. And sometimes we cannot even forgive ourselves. We committed such blunders.
Yeah.
Sometimes the signs were so glaring that you're gonna crash. But all the same, you said, Charlie, I'm assertive. Let me speak my mind. I'm this. Let me do like this.
No.
And it has cost us more than we could take in. So I'll take some few comments. Thank you so much for all those sending in comments. We really appreciate your time and your comments. So this is from Portia Dumensa, and she says that silence is golden. Thank you so much, Portia. There's one from Kweku Boafo, Mr. Boafo, husband of Erefua Boafo.
Oh, Maxine.
All correct, sir. Kweku says that power in silence equals power in thoughtful speech. By Boafo Inspires. Thank you so much. And there's one from Ella who says monitoring spirits. Ella, we see you. Then there's another one from Ella again that says that they will monitor but not like. We don't call them friends. So that is to buttress what Emilia said. And Ella says again, great discussion. Ella, today we'll give you golden award for tuning in. So there's James Tete who says that love the vibe between the two of you guys. Thank you so much. We also liking the vibe that you can vibe with us. And so this morning we are talking open or closed book. We've asked ourselves number of questions as to how we are so readable, okay, because we just did not put some pins on our mouth and we forgot to zip it up. And we are asking ourselves a question: has it benefited us? We can agree largely to an extent that no, there are times we have paid dearly for the things we said, only because we said them out of good faith. But unfortunately, the people just misconstrue. Have we lost friends in the past just because we open ourselves up to be hurt? Yes, we have. We have learnt our lessons and we have kept. Are we appeasing people because they are just curious and we are not giving them what they want to hear? Yeah, we have. But going forward, we want to know that, okay, Charlie, there is A before B, right?
Yes.
We don't start from B and go to A. You have to earn it.
Yes.
You know, you have to earn the information that we put across. You should prove yourself worthy that, Charlie, you're a good friend, because there are some who come with all vicious intentions. By the time you realize one thing that you thought you were sharing for the growth of a friendship is just for their own selfish gains.
Yeah.
Emilia, concluding words.
Okay. It's been good. I think that all that we've shared would bless one or two people, and from today they will never live their lives like an open book, like something that you can. There are people you see and you can tell, oh, this say no, you can just tell, and they will decide with a conscious effort that, God, I want to live right. I don't want to live anyhow. I want to live fulfilling your work, like your works in my life. You understand it? So in everything, Maxine, I say that we should reference God.
Yes.
In everything. If you wake up and you just wake up, you have your bath, you just step out of your house without communicating with God, everything would not go right. There should be some relationship. When that relationship is there, anything you do, He would guard you. He would protect you.
Amen.
And so you don't just step out of your house and you are out there.
Okay.
You realize that anything will just happen to you. But when you commit everything into God's hands, your friends, your relationship. Sometimes we feel our boyfriends or our husbands or our partners are more relevant than our friends. Like I say, access to these parties, including your friends, are critical. You're marrying your friends. Yes, you're marrying your friends, and so you should learn to pick friends that would help you in life.
Okay.
Yes, there are people, when you see them and they tell you they are friends. I have big sisters and I have family friends, and they tell you they have good friends and they've grown together. It's so lovely. Yeah. But we find it very hard in these days. Yeah. Ask yourself why. Because we can't just hope that our friend falls and we succeed. Even if you have taken the step higher and she's done, if you really see that she's a friend, you would help her.
Yeah.
Everybody and their pace.
Yeah.
There are some people who run.
Yeah.
There are some people who crawl.
Sure.
There are some people who walk. Everybody and their pace. But never discredit the goodness of the Lord in their lives.
Amen.
There are people who have they have just moved on and said we are in these places and our friends are there, and right now they see their friends in more high places and they can't even communicate with them. The ways of God are not the ways of man. The ways of God are not the ways of man. Ask God to bless you with people with good hearts and good spirits.
Okay.
People who would tell you when it's wrong that it is wrong. People who would tell you that I can help you do this gradually, it will work. People who would encourage you. People who would always criticize you too. If you have friends and they don't criticize you, then you are in for something serious. You should have people who are like Jonathan and David. Look at Jonathan and David. I say, is there anybody in Jonathan's house I can bless? That is friendship. There are friendship that will trickle or translate into our children's children becoming friends. That is the kind of friendship we should desire for ourselves. Tell God, bless me with friends who would become unbiological family. And he will do it. We shouldn't just take for granted what people do to us. No. And please, when people offend you, we are human beings, and that is why people offend you. When they offend you, Maxine, we should try and forgive for us and not for them. We should never dwell in the past. It would kill us. There are people who have high BPs. If Argentina BP never got them. Please don't worry so much. Certain things, just leave it out. Forgive them. Sometimes if you offend me and I don't forgive you, and I see me, who am I? You're uncomfortable. Such a you are not God. And show them kindness. And it will go back to them. People believe in karma. Me, I believe my karma is offend me and I will intentionally show you kindness. What's not the count?
Charlie, it's a new season.
That's
people
all I say.
There's a new season. There's a new wind blowing. A wind to remain silent. A wind to know who to open up to. A wind to be either an open book as and when you are inspired to do so, and a closed one as and when you are inspired by none other than the Holy Spirit to do so. For the many times that we just like, okay, I'm a nice person, and you have opened up and it has burnt you, like Edeja on some show, and you have learned your lesson. Erefa says forgive. Show kindness. See, she has lived what it means to be burnt by her own actions and the actions of other people. So, I mean, she's just a living testimony. And so when somebody knows and feels something and they give an advice, you know that Charlie is tried and tested. Have you ever heard you have the right to remain silent? Because anything you say will be used against you. There are times that we have allowed people to use the same things we said against us. And it has become detrimental because, Charlie, we give out too many information. May the Lord be our help.
Amen.
May this new coming week or the next coming week open us to the challenge of keeping quiet. Open us to the challenge of building walls and knowing when to break those walls a bit, open them up a bit, just because we know that we are under the control of the Holy Spirit. Thank you so much for your time. Ella, James, Kweku Vuafo, Portia, Maxima, and all those who tune in, those that I can see online. We thank you so much. It's been almost an hour and some few minutes, and Charlie, constantly you have been with us. We thank. So we are live on Facebook, like live on YouTube. Why do I keep saying Instagram? We are live on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Just type in Random Thought with Maxine and you get to see this. We're also live on radio, PenyGh, and then you can get all this. If you miss the show, you can always check us out again. Thank you so much, Erefa. Charlie. Yamisha, Charger one.
Oh, my field.
Yeah, your social. Tell us,
I am at Erefa Inspired.
Okay.
So if you go to Erefa Inspired, you can like and you can share all the motivational message and inspirational messages.
Sure. So I've been sharing on my timeline on Facebook. So please do all to give us a thumbs up. She's a life coach. I forgot to add that. and she always has something nice to share for us to lighten up our days. Thank you so much for making time. See, and we were green. It wasn't on purpose. I mean, I just met her, picked her up. Okay, so Spirit Santos. Thank you so much, and Charlie, we are out. Bye.
Bye.